Hello, this is Pat Walker, Mission Winners, and I'm making a video just for the team. I'm working on this screen. We were talking about it yesterday, Friday, and I'm still working on it. I'm having some cross-current challenges, and I'll show you how I do this. I'd like to show you this. For those that don't know, I was invited by Daily Graphs years ago to be in the beta test group for this original product. It was called Daily Graphs Online. So yeah, we know how to maneuver around. So let's do something here. I'm going to show you something here that you'll like. I'm going to pull this up. These are a lot of my list. Look at this from 2017. How about that? That's going back a ways. Leaders from 2012. Leaders from 2010. Bill's stuff from 2009. 2007 winners. How about that? 2004 Bill O'Neill simulation. Yeah, I saved this stuff, okay? That's what we studied. Anyway, I'd like to share this and point some things out to you. This is a list for the video I'm showing you right here. But let's go in and let's take a look at the IBD write-up stocks. You see these lists right here? New IBD list, new IBD write-up list. There it is. The new write-up list. Here they are. All the stocks that have been written up in the last month or so in IBD. Now, some have been taken off because they've gotten creamed. All right? I always prune this list. But I've sorted by industry group rank first. You can sort it by percent off high second. Not really necessary. But you can see, here's the list. Some of these names you recognize. By the way, I also have to tell you this. Many of the stocks that we buy them and they break out. And then they're written up by IBD. And it's not because, oh, we're so fancy. No, it's just our screens catch stuff. And it works really well for us. So here we go. Let me show you a couple things here that are important. Here's the ticker symbols. This is the group rank. And you can see by and large, it goes down to here. See that? There's some stocks way down there. These are a couple of new ones that were just written up in IBD this weekend. Okay? Group rank 85, 185. That makes it tough. But let's see what we can do with this. This is the group rank. I'll make this a little smaller here. There we go. Now, this is the group name. Just so you can see birds of a feather flock together, you can see group themes. Percent off high. So let's look at this. You can say, okay, this is where we strive to take the data to build a screen. And this will help you. All right? This is what I do. But it's also going to point out the quandary. We'll slide this over. Don't need that anymore. Percent off high. Okay. Ooh, this is 29% off highs. Ooh, that's pretty tough. Billy's 21% off highs. Okay, so we got a couple of outliers there, don't we? Let's scroll down. 15% off highs. Neo, this was just mentioned. 30. Boy, this was big for us. This was huge for us. XPEV, this was mentioned this weekend. I'm making this video on a Saturday for the team. Okay. Oh, I need to know this. This is for the team. This is not going anywhere else. Okay. So here they are. So we can say, well, what can we do here? These stocks were written up. Here's what we're trying to do, team. We're saying, let's make a screen that can catch these stocks. Well, this is where it gets tough. To make this cut, you're going to have to look at stocks that are 44% off highs. That's tough. So let's look at these last three. Here's Neo. These were just added. You can say, okay, I can see this. The group rank is E. Okay, I can see that's because Tesla's gotten ripped and so has Neo. But it's got good numbers. Here's XPEV. Yeah, it's down there pretty dang low, but it's got good numbers. Crummy group, same group, group rank E. Lee Automotive, picking up good numbers, crummy group. So what do you do with it? Let's go back again. I just want to show you the quandary we face. You can say, okay, it's well off the highs. Holy Toledo. I mean, folks, from 65 down to 45, that's 20 off the highs. It's dang near 30% off the highs. It's got a relative strength of 97. Okay, there's something to consider. Composite rating is only 56, so I don't know if we can use that, right? And it's group rank E. Ooh, ouch, what do we do? But it's got great revenues. XPEV. Composite rating's 44. But you know what? This sucker's forming kind of like a cup and a handle here, isn't it? Whoops, that didn't work very well. My apologies. Oh, it's going to do that. Sometimes it does that. We'll just draw this again like this. There you go. Cup with a little handle here. Maybe it'll lift through. Great revenue growth. Crummy group. Crummy group. You see the quandary on what to do with it. Next one, Lee Automotive, picking up. No earnings, but great revenue growth. You see that? That makes it tough. What do we do with that? All right, so let's continue onwards. This, I got to show this again. These are all the stocks that have been written up, gotten good write-up in Investors Daily. All of them. So now we can say, let's go through and look at every chart. Okay, we can do that. It's 44 of them, and I don't think you want to do that. I don't blame you. So let's go in here and say, what are some thresholds that we could use? Well, this goes all the way down to groups 185, and some of these have done well. Hey, folks, PayPal, DocuSign, look at that. They're working for us. CrowdStrike, Palo Alto Networks, they're working. They're working. Amazon and NVIDIA, I can't really count. They're working. They've worked great, but they're matchless stocks. All right? So you can see the quandary right there. You can say, well, gosh, I don't know if you can use group rank, Pat. See the point? So now let's take it a step further and say, let's go in with percent off high. Well, if we go in here and we look at some of our winners that we've got, they're near highs, but there are some that make the cut that are well off the highs. All right? So can you use that as a filter? Price? All right. Well, none of them are low price stocks. So that's easy enough to do. And you can say, how can you say that, Pat? Right here. Here's their current price. Just scroll down. And the lowest priced I see there looks like it's 31 bucks, right? Scroll up. I mean, I could sort it if you want me to. I'll do that for you. I'm going to show you how to use this program. This will help you. We'll unlock this. You know what we'll do? We're going to click on price. Lowest price stock, 16 bucks. There you go. So what could we cut it off at, team? $15. So earnings per share rank. So, well, maybe we could use earnings per share rank as a filter. Well, some of these stocks that have made good moves, LPI's only got a earnings per share rank of 58. Upwork's only 69. Magnolia's only 69. See my point? Snap's only 69. You can say, we need to cut the earnings per share rank off at 80. Yeah, and so then we'll miss Zim, we'll miss CrowdStrike, we'll miss Snap, Magnolia, Upwork, LPI. We'll miss those. See the conundrum there? So, by the way, this is the fun of it. This is what I love, putting the pieces of the puzzle together for us. Because I love doing this and helping you making money. So you can say, well, again, maybe we should use relative strength. Well, as I said, relative strength, 73. That's kind of tough. Salesforce is 44. PayPal's only 77. Folks, it doesn't make the cut. Amazon's 42, but it was stronger when we bought it. Okay. Here's a composite rating. So we can say, well, let's use composite rating. Well, what will we miss? We don't own any of these right now. Okay. CRM, we've got. It's got an earnings per share rank of 98, though, doesn't it? See? Nike, Amazon, that makes a cut. Palo Alto Networks has a relative strength of 73. So, what could we say? Watch this. Maybe using composite rating wouldn't be good. Let's make the cut relative strength. Okay, Amazon is a matchless stock, so that doesn't really matter. Salesforce.com, all right? Here, we're going to do something for you. We're going to cut this off with a relative strength rank of 78. Okay? What does that mean? These stocks right here, we wouldn't have been able to buy any of these. We wouldn't have known about them. So let's look at the chart. We'll take it from the, from there. There we go. So Integris really hasn't done much. But if we had a relative strength No, it's 80 now, but at 78, we wouldn't have known about it. MRVI, pushing through here. Of course, it's biotech now. All right? We want to look at it anyway. Biotechnology. Biotechnology can be great, folks, but you can get blistered in biotechnology. I got to tell you that. Be careful with it. MSCI, lifting off. Relative strength, 77. Okay, 77. PayPal, lifted off. We're in it. We're doing okay with it. Relative strength, 77. You miss it. DocuSign, lifting off. This is a good move, folks. Relative strength, 76. You'd miss it. Facebook's a max list stock, so that doesn't really matter. Palo Alto Networks hasn't really pushed yet, okay? But composite rating is 89. Relative strength, 73. If you put a relative strength minimum in there of 80, you won't even know about it. D plus group, too. You can see where I'm going with it. Look at team. Relative strength, 71. D plus group. Look at the lift. You see how that works? Isn't that interesting? So then you can say Nike just had earnings, that's why it did it. So you can say, boy, it's a tough situation. If you use a minimum relative strength line, you're not going to know about PayPal. You're not going to know about DocuSign. See my point? PANW, you won't know about it. So that's something to consider. SMR, not really relevant here, okay, for a screening tool. You'd miss this one, okay? That's new to the list, though. But scroll up here, and let's see here. Neo, you wouldn't know about Neo, but that's new. Magnolia, which has made a great move, you wouldn't know about it if you cut it off at SMR of A or B. Snap, you wouldn't know about it. So let's continue onward. You could say, well, let's use percent earnings last quarter. Earnings percent change last quarter. Because you like stocks with good earnings, right? Well, you wouldn't know about Neo, which is new now. We wouldn't know about Upwork. We wouldn't know about Magnolia, Snap, Zim, LPI. We own these, folks. Palo Alto Networks. CPE. We wouldn't know about it. It's only 24. You can say, well, is that great? You tell me. Buy right here. 40 to 60, that's 50% gain. So there's the conundrum. So what does it tell us? You can say, well, then let's do this. Let's just take out and say, we'll look at stocks that have I just want to show you this because this is a great tool. Like I said, I was in product development with this. This is kind of neat. So let's just say I'm not going to look at any stocks that have a earnings per share rank under 80. Okay? Well, then we wouldn't know about CPE, Valet, Zim. You'd never known about it. CrowdStrike, Snap, you wouldn't know about. Magnolia, you wouldn't know about. Upwork, you wouldn't know about it. LPI, you wouldn't know about it. You get my point? So then we could say, well, let's use composite rating. So here we go. Sorted. We wouldn't know about these, but we don't really care about them right now. Amazon's a max list stock, so that's all right. Palo Alto Networks is close. Team's over 90. So then you can say, okay, Pat, this is a max list stock. These others, you know, they're not that great right now. Maybe we should cut it off with a composite rating of 90. Do you see how that can work? Isn't that neat? So then we can say, well, what else could we use? Well, SMR. Don't really use that for screening too much here, okay? I will tell you this. If we did, though, what could we miss? We wouldn't know about Upwork. We wouldn't know about Snap. Magnolia. You can say, so what, Magnolia? So what? That's a good move, folks. That's a good start. So, hang on. We can say, well, then let's use earnings, last quarter's earnings. Okay, and we'll sort it. Only stocks that have earnings up 30% or higher. We wouldn't know about this one. We wouldn't know about Calpine, Palo Alto, LPI, Zim, Snap, Magnolia, Upwork. Isn't that neat? And by the way, this isn't a case of, oh, Pat's complaining. Oh no, this is fun. But you can see where sometimes you might have to use more than one screen to catch it. And you can say, well, let's do this. Let's just look at stocks that have really good earnings last quarter. Here we go. Earnings percent change last quarter. Okay. Now, oh yeah, that's pretty dang good. Let's scroll down and see what would be the minimum if we cut. What could we miss? All right. Earnings percent change last quarter. We wouldn't know about Billy, but we know. Calpine, LPI you wouldn't know about. Cliff, Teams made a good move. Okay. Google, but that's okay because that's a max list stock. PayPal's not a max list stock. Palo Alto Networks is not a max list stock. You can get my point with how that works. So now we can say, well, then we could use sales. Here we go. My apologies. Sales last quarter. If you cut sales out, you wouldn't know about Magnolia or LPI or QFIN. But now here's the great lesson. See, this is what I wanted to show you. You can say, maybe you need to use 2 screens or 3 screens. Here's why. If we used a minimum sales of 30%, it doesn't make the cut. But if we run another screen with minimum earnings of 30%, it makes the cut. But what else would we miss? You wouldn't know about CPE in either case. There's the conundrum. Isn't that neat? By the way, this isn't a case of LPI. By the way, LPI, you'd never know about it. There's the case. But let's take it a step further. I just want to show you how to work this machine, how to work this tool. Industry group rank. Here's LPI. You can say, yeah, these numbers here ain't that great, Pat. It's group number 1. Wow. So what could we do with this? You could say, well, then maybe you need to make a couple of screens and put them together for the IBD write-up list. Go further with it. Composite rating. You could say, I'm going to cut it off. And again, folks, these are all the stocks written up that got good write-ups in IBD. I'm going to sort it by relative strength. Okay, we know about all these. Keep going down. Let's suppose we cut it off at relative strength of 80. Well, PayPal's you wouldn't know about. DocuSign you wouldn't know. Facebook doesn't matter. Palo Alto Networks, you'd miss that one. Teams made a great move. And a couple of these are max list stocks, so it doesn't matter. You say, get the point. So now we say, well, then let's cut it by composite rating. Here we go. I'm not doing this to bore you. I'm just showing you that the moral of the story is you might need to use a couple of different screens, which is fine. I've got screens. Gee whiz, I help develop screens. So here we go. Composite rating, you say, well, these are newer to the list, but and Amazon doesn't count. Palo Alto Networks, composite rating of 89. You can say, oh, all right, maybe we should cut the composite rating off at 88. Now you're getting someplace because you know about this one, you know about this one, you know about this one. You get my point? You know about this one, you know about this one. SMR, I'll stop here in a minute. SMR. If we use SMR and say, I don't want anything with an SMR below B. Snaps you won't know, Upwork you won't know, MGY you won't know. That makes it tougher, doesn't it? Anyway, I wanted to share this with you. Just the cross currents that are working here, that are trying. And the moral of the story is it looks like it's going to take 2 screens, which doesn't bother me. I mean, folks, believe me, we've got screens that catch things, all right? So and I help develop these suckers. So anyway, I just wanted to show you what we're working on. I'm not trying to play a game here. I'm not trying to yank your chain and hide something from you. I'm bearing my soul and showing what I've been working on. I worked on this, today's Saturday. I worked on this yesterday for probably close to 3.5 hours trying to grab it. And I'm not done yet. But it's all right. It's fun, it's a challenge, and you know what? It helps you, and it's good for us. So we'll work on it. We're going to get there. Thank you very much, and I appreciate your time on this. And if it's too long, I apologize. That wasn't my goal, but hopefully you can take this information too to develop some of your screens. That's what I want, power for you. So thank you.